Hello, hello, wild wisdom warriors, and hello, shamans out there. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Lily Kolosova, and this is my journal, my personal journal of my shamanic journey. So, thank you to everyone, my shamans out there that like to join me here for this journey. Thank you so much. Alice, hi. Thank you so much for being here. So, welcome, you guys. It's Friday, so guess what? Vino Friday. Vino Friday. So, you guys, I want to talk today, continue talking about. So, here's to you all. Thank you so much, Pavel. Thank you so much for joining me. You made it. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, darling. Thank you for being here. So, today, Anna, hi, darling. All right. So, what I want to talk about today, you guys. So, I want to continue with talking about the spring equinox. Okay. And the journey and the shamanic journey, or the celebration, or the ceremony, or whatever it is that you each and every one of you are doing for spring equinox, as just, you know, you don't have to name it anything. It's just got to be whatever it is that how it makes you feel, even whatever it is that you want to feel for the spring, because you can feel the spring in the air, so to speak, right, you guys? And so this is a great time to generate intent. And so today hi, Tracy. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Vino Friday to you too, Anna. Thank you. So anyway, what I want to talk about is us shaman generating, as like I talked last time about the reality. We are the ones that generate the reality, and so we're seeding this reality, meaning so this is what I talk about with our intent. And so how we generate that is that this is what it manifests. So I am talking deep about rooting your intent as a shaman for spring equinox. So today I want to talk about how you can generate this deep rooted intent for the reality, for the future timeline, whatever you want, or create your timeline if you want to talk about that, or going deep within into meditation and to setting your intent for the future. So this is how you seeding yourself, right? And so as a creator being, and so generating intent, utilizing as a shaman, now you know that you're utilizing the fifth element here on this plane of existence, because you are what's available to shamans here to work with on this plane of existence: ether, earth, organic quantum field. That's what we're shamans work with, right? That's the ancient technology, if you want to call that. And since a while back, I've announced the ancients are back. So now we are going to be and the ancients know how to generate reality, because they're the creator beings in human form. That's the ancient ones. And so this is your ancestors, okay? Your ancestors that carried that human intelligence through and you carry that through your DNA, through your genetic code that is given to you in this reality that is written, sort of, or think of it as written by the ancient original timeline for your being. Hi, Santo. Thank you so much for joining me. So the fifth element, right, and what I talk about is the fifth element, like I talk about, is the ability, capability And this quantum ability, as I referred to, is using this ether that is available to you as a creator being. Hi, Danielle. Oh, you here too. Thank you, darling, for being here. So you create, so you know, now I said, as now as a creator being in human form, you have realized, meaning you creating a reality, your eyes are becoming real, meaning you seeing through the eternal self. And then your gut and higher mind are in alignment. And speaking of, crown chakras being with, they call it a virus. Can you believe that? Unfreaking believable. Unfreaking believable, these people, right? But anyway, we're utilizing the living element of earth, and this is what ultimately, when you really, which is the living force. So when you're a shaman, you've accepted, as I said, you mastered yourself to the point you can't be a shaman unless you master your own energy, meaning you've allowed yourself to be you, meaning and have access in this reality, anything in full, meaning it's like I say, 360 degrees, meaning you have a view or perspective that is your own, and then you're looking at your negative and your positive as one reality in duality. And this way you are in the center of it through that eternal point. You're a creator being in this reality, but you are not of it. As I don't like to be biblical, but then yet I do like to be biblical, don't I? So here's cheers to spring equinox. So I'm going to be talking about the generating this intent from this point. And now as a shaman, you have to utilize this fifth element. Meaning, what is fifth element? Is your other four elements in balance? And this is the air, that the four directions, the northwest or whatever. Any metaphors you want to take a look, or any perspective you want to take a look at the Eastern philosophies about how to utilize five elements in your life every day. That's what shamans do. Shamans do it in the real, in the now, for the now. Okay, because that's the only time you got is now. So we have, as a shaman, once you've accepted, like I said, when you've accepted, and this is the problem that I have, and you guys sometimes know that I like to give a breakdown of the comedy of the infected, infiltrated truth movement that's unfolding over there in truth movement, and how infiltrated it is with all kinds of stuff that does not belong there and things like that. So and how they like to use these metaphors and this spiritual knowledge or spiritual wisdom that many ancestral lines from around the world, through the tribal knowledge and all of that stuff, had left behind. But what it was stolen, and then I like to say it got inverted, got turned upside down and inside out. And so what we're dealing with is everything's out there. So now we're bringing or returning our own energy back. And this is why in many of my things, when I talk about what's truly going on and how the invasion operates in truth movement, most of the time when I talk about what's going on in truth movement, my perspective is to give you guys a perspective of how does it operate, how does this control system operates with them. It's not to point out that, hey, look, you've hopefully, those of you guys that are here, you've already been through your own self-recognition. And so unless, you're being paid to listen to my videos and create mass here. So anyway, so you guys understand that all of that spawns is because of the mirror, so positive and the negative. And so, and when I talk about, hopefully when you've gone through this point of eternity or point of pressure of releasing your inner self or your eternal self, um which from all that, as I use Castaneda work about him talking about flyers, or um, New Age use that word matrix, and I know it's a good example of that, and the movie is truly is a documentary, but so many people have attached to that belief, that thing to their belief system, and they just roll it again and again. And now, they use it to program people, and they call it matrix deconstruct, or deconstructing the construct or something. And all they do is program you through the techno strength. That's all they do. They're trying to take control through the infection within your own field. And so this is kind of what I want to talk about. And so this is why when I talk about shamans doing the ceremonies for spring equinox, and this is when I say you have to look at this from the point of view of shaman, which means, but now yet you have to elevate yourself to the point of view for, meaning, like, if you're a shaman and you can see it within yourself, now you can see that there's other people that have not attain this which you have attained. So now how does your own experience applies to the collective or the totality of human consciousness? And now you're looking at setting your intent on how does my experience and on this individual shamanic journey, how does this apply to the transformation of the totality of human consciousness? And this is ultimately where you can fully have access, because you're now operating on this fifth element, or meaning you have attained your own ascension. Okay, you've ascended into 5D, because this is a fifth principle, as within, so without. So what do you mirror into the totality through your experience now, through generating? And this is what I said. Now, as a shaman, you have your own, you've created, you made it, you forge your sword if you're a warrior, or you forge your, if you want to be nice and talk about frequency and ascension, what you did is you've actually you are now stepping into this fifth dimensional reality, meaning as within, so without. Now you generating reality. Okay, so meaning, why is it that with my only intent when I work with one-on-one in my personal sessions is to get you to trust yourself, because this is the step where you can only take from that point on. There's nobody that can take that path for you, because nobody can master your own reality for you. And so this is why it's so rewarding for me to work one-on-one still with people, because it takes a whole, I mean, it just opens this floodgates of creative sort of flow. And this is my intent, is because because through unless we go through this pressure point of releasing all the trauma based control matrix, okay? Because that's what it is. It's all trauma based. And there is a lot of people out there that are unwilling to take, and all it takes a realization and accountability for your own will, for your own actions. And this is why I say it's so easy to see slave mentality flying out there, no matter what mask they're going to put on it, that it's teaching you how to be sovereign human being. Like I said, there's, people that call themselves, I didn't call them reptilian mentids. They call themselves, they given themselves that middle name. Simon Reptilian Mented Parks. I didn't give him that middle name. He gave him that. He gave it to himself. And then they're going to talk about how human being attains sovereignty. So when you look at that, right, it's someone who has no clue what the point of eternity is. His highest potential that he's expressing in human body is being owned and locked in his genetic manipulation. That's achievement? Is that the achievement? Someone who is stuck. Who's stuck. So do you see what I'm saying? And then when you attain, this is the freedom. See, the freedom that human being is the freedom that human being understands that you're experience that in this reality, and then you have access through this fifth element or fifth. So yeah, there's some people out there that are waiting for 5D Earth. Remember that, you guys? 5D Earth coming. Who's going to create it? Is that a sovereign human being that's supposed to create that? And so what are all those clowns out there? I call them all clowns now. What are they teaching you out there in spiritual world, in spiritual communities? What they are teaching you, how to ascend? Where? Or how to mimic? Like I said, how there is many religions out there claim that the saving of human being can only come through drinking human blood. And they're mimicking. They're abusers and those that actually do that. So it's, and all of those people out there that now are screaming and trying to protect their money that they stole from other people and all of that stuff, and then all claim that they're doing good for human beings, right? They're trying to save humanity. Oh, the scammers. You guys don't think there's spiritual scammers out there? So this is why I tell you, do not let anybody interfere into your reality. Art of war. Okay? When you're a warrior and when you're a shaman and when and you're not in La La Land waiting for Lulu to get you out of your white room or get you out of your troubles or whatever, or to save you. Because you're a fourth in line in that special bloodline and you got titles. And then all you are is just fraudsters. That's what they are. So back to utilizing the fifth element. So those that still screaming that there is ascension coming, listen to me. Well, they don't know, they don't belong to eternity, like I like to say. And then for those of you, my darling shamans, that do belong to eternity, you know now that your experience, negative and the positive, belongs to you. You're a master of it. And now, just like I said, in the art award, Sun Tzu said, be swift like a wind, be powerful like water, be still, right? So those four other elements. But how do you use them in this spiritual war? Because that's what it is spiritual war. And so those that stand in the slave mentality and like I said, play in the victim field, are they still playing in their victim field? Are they still throwing the sand at each other? Are they still out there, Tracy? Tracy, you'll know. You'll know how Tiny is throwing tantrum with his diaper full and taking his own stuff and throw out of his diaper, own shit, and throwing it out of other people, right? And then what other people do? They take their own out of their own diaper and throw it back at him. Some do. But you see, these people do not belong to eternity. All they know how to do is scam, and then all they know how to do is lie to each other, because that's all they know, because that's the system they serve. And so they're gonna come and tell me that, oh, Lily, you're laughing at us. How dare you laugh at us now? Well, I predicted what you clowns gonna do in 2016, and you're doing it exactly that. What I predicted on your shows, on your conversations. I told you, I predicted for you what's gonna happen with your uh, uh, Club Idiots Assembly. They thought they were safe. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when you're generating intent on this master level, as I said, that this is the true mastery level. Hi, Comfort. Thank you so much for being here. Oh no, I am not supposed to laugh at clowns because they're all fighting and throwing their shit from each diapers at each other. I'm supposed to join them. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so we're going to be generating intent for spring equinox, but we now are looking from this point of view, point of eternity. And this is what I want to talk about, you guys. It's just that there is really is, it's laughable, and this is why I call it a comedy, because there is really no, when you truly, when you utilize in what is given to you, the gifts, like I said, the true gifts, the ancient gifts, that you have to accept for the sake of your ancestors that suffer enough with this. And now, knowing what you know, gaining the experience that you gain. And so I'm talking to myself. And like I said, these people don't scare me. None of the tactics scares me, because I know their manipulations, upside down, inside out. I know them. You wake me up in the middle of the night and I know it. I know it in my heart. I know it here. I know before they even say what they're gonna say. Because you know what? This is this fifth element that they're all trying to ascend into. That's that living grid that the parasitic structure does not have. And this is what I say, they do not have this ability, which is a quantum ability given to us by nature in this field, just the same way as that intelligence that operates a living lion in nature, that same intelligence, that's the human consciousness, the higher intelligence that operates that. And this is what ultimately, yes, we worship, is that intelligence. Who gives that intelligence here in this plane of existence? That's ether. That's earth. That's what ether is. It's earth. And so what these people that fake it until you make it crowd, how are they going to get to new earth? Or are they going to ascend out of it? Instead of creating it, they're going to go somewhere else. You see what I mean? It's just, it's all. So, hi, Be True. Thank you so much for joining. So now, how do you have access to this? And this is where your self-transformation and self-transmutation. And so for those of you that are still here and you going through this, and let's say you dealing with these clowns out there. So what are you seeing? What you're seeing is you're seeing a collective infection in action. And so this is what I'm talking about. When you step into self, then and then next step is knowing that generating. So it's self-generated and then self-operated. So the next step will be self-operated. So you can be surprised after you see your own reality when you take accountability and responsibility for your own reality, right? And this is what ultimately a lot of us face with in our external world before we step into our inner world and clean it out to where as within, so without, that hermetic principles that everybody is so, oh, hermetic principles. But they have no, and they're gonna ascend. They're gonna learn all about hermetic principles, how to think about hermetic principles. That's all they can teach you. They will never teach you how to apply a hermetic principle. So here I am teaching you how to apply as within, so without. And this is your fifth dimension. This is how you measure your reality, because now your without is in your presence. It's not in my presence. Your reality is not in my presence. It is in your now moment. Okay, so how do you utilize this fifth element then? And this is what I talk about. Without mastering self, you cannot utilize it to change anything in external world. And this is ultimately why Gandhi said that change what you can and not what you cannot, or no, be the change you want to see in the world. This is the one I'm looking for. That one applies better. So be the change that you want to see in the world. So this is ultimately the philosophy behind this, is that you got to generate your intent. And this is then meaning this is call to action. And have you noticed how, and I've talked about this, I've talked about the stand down programming that the truth movement is infected with, and all of those, oh, we're guardians, we are special, we are extra special guardians here. We're gonna guard, make sure that we get all of your energy, that it's all, we're hoarders. They're not guardians, they're hoarders. You know what I mean? So those are people are those are vampires. Okay, we're infected, and so we are seeing now. So once a human being goes through their own cleaning up of their own aura, and again, I last time Naraf had a great question that I didn't see it in my last journal, and it was about the aura and seeing. He was saying that he was looking at the animals and would see shining, shimmering sort of light around them, and is that their aura? And I was going to say yes. And if that light on human beings, if you see that, and if you see that shimmering, and the first color you see in that shimmer on human being is kind of pinky peachy, little bit very hue pinky peachy, that's the first sort of hue that comes through. That's the organic aura sort of comes through. And in animals, and that's why Naraf, in animals you could see that very easily. And so this is your ability. Here you go. This is your quantum ability, your true source given ability to you as an individual to be witness of this, of the presence of this fifth element. So this is as within, so without, for you, Naraf, right? So that's for you, that as within, so without. um and so that your fifth dimensional existence, and so that's your reality, and you see in your reality through this ability that you've accepted now, that it is god-given ability. And so you see that, and so this is something, a kind of this is something that a lot of, I think, children, especially when we are children, and this is when we have those abilities, they're naturally unfolding. When we're up to 7 years old, all of that is natural unfolding. And that's why they when they do that for, let's say, MK Ultra, um, when they take children, they usually do their trauma-based programming from for MK Ultra before they're 7 years old. Okay, because that's when you can set in, and it's all goes into details about Club Idiot's assembly operation. This is, you guys, all real. This experiment and torture of little human beings has been happening in America. The cat's out of the bag now. It's been happening in America for decades now. And those people just are doing everything they can to not take responsibility and accountability for allowing this kind of torture and this kind of experiments to take place. And so this is why you see what you see, the kind of drama you see that's unfolding there, because a lot of people's integrity is on the line. Well, not their integrity. They don't have integrity. They pretend to have integrity. That's their mask. Because do you really have integrity? You claim to be a revealer, and yet you kept your mouth shut about the very foundation. Look at all of those claiming themselves to be revealers now. Look at all of those in the secret space program, all of those whistleblowers from secret space program. Very few. And somebody, Ashley, you mentioned UG. Very few of them survived to speak about it. So what are the rest of them do? See, they attack their own. So see what's happening out there? So that's what they do. and so Santo, you said Ag seems to be going through a lot of pain because he hasn't forged his sword yet. But he will, through that pain, he will forge the sword. He hasn't. And that's why. So, um, but this is all of that tactics, because that's what they do. They don't have, and this is what ultimately why they go after people, because it's control system, and ultimately it's a feeding system, right? It's a feeding system. And then because of all this, and then but the thing is, you guys, they can do it. None of the stuff ever held up. And so is MK Ultra. It can't held up because of the like I said, the ancient technology is back. It's almost like, okay, the ancients are back, like I said, but it's living energy. It's living energy. It was always here. It was just asleep because they found a way to put the totality of human consciousness, and those that were true guardians of human consciousness, what did they do? They exterminated. And this is what they do. And they're out there just exterminating anything and everything that goes against their programming. And all they do, but this is the thing, when, how do you, this is how I say, when you're immune to coronavirus, when you master self, you're immune. Okay? And who is out there screaming? Coronavirus, fear, Fear Factory. And everybody who gets their paycheck from Fear Factory screaming coronavirus right now, right? But they're going to tell you that they care for your life, they care for your life force, or they care for anything. All they care about is their own pockets. All they care about is fattening their own pockets. So they'll tell you anything, they'll promise you anything. Because this is the sick thing with money. Because once you invest with them with your money, you've created an open like a cord with them. Okay. And so, because that exchange, it's a contract. Okay, you guys, it's a contract in a way, or it's an agreement. Okay, it's an agreement for access. Okay, that's basically what it is, for access to, intelligence, or whatever it is you're paying for, right? And so, but a fear is not just a distraction, Ashley. Fear is what the entities that those people are possessed with, because they're in their blood, sort of. They keep them there. Because, like I said, if you take any of this MK Ultra people and all of those in Truth Movement that are there through MK Ultra, through Club Idiots Assembly, which is 95% of Truth Movement is Club Idiots Assembly programmed, trained. And I am not kidding, you guys. This is the thing. I am not kidding when I'm saying 95% of Truth Movement speakers out there are Club Idiots Assembly operators. The cat is out of the bag on that one. And a few months back, when I started calling out names, it was shocking for some. Like, remember when I called out Michael Kavanaugh? Oh, thank you, 777, the extra special. Oh, Goyim TV went nuts when I called them Goyim TV. But what is Goyim TV? Nothing but a club idiots assembly operation. And they, the special ones, are not embarrassed. Zombies are not embarrassed to go, oh, Lily, you're on. Zombie just, they're going to pretend that they're, what are they really doing? Propaganda. Propaganda machine, fear factory. Fear factory for decades. And they're going to tell me here that they're going to reveal me. The extra special Thomas Williams. Extra special. He's going to reveal Lily. Oh, stupidity. You have to deal with their stupidity, you guys. But so see, how do you get immunity to coronavirus? Because you guys, they're going to come out there. The clowns are going to come out there, confuse you because they know if you're not focusing on generating that, because they're tricking you into creating the AI that they saw, like Chris Blubberfat Geo, AI this, AI that, AI this, AI that. Do you guys think that it's for no reason? They keep repeating same thing over and over and over again because they're good slave masters. They were told that this is what they need to say, and they are not hiding it, right? That they're following orders. They're not hiding it. If you really listening like I do, they're not hiding it. So they're all out there. Like I said, they ran, every one of them is an infiltrator getting paid to be that. So everyone who's screaming coronavirus, or I have this, or I know this, or now I know how it affects you and how really you're special, you know that. You know, it's like, really, do you know that? Are you aware of the fact that your diaper stinks? I don't think they're aware of this, but they know about coronavirus. Special ones. Special ones. They know about coronavirus, but they don't know that their diaper is full and stinky. But the rest of the world knows. So anyway, so you guys, oh my God, I've been here for too long. Talking about who knows what. I know that Tracy, it's a comedy out there, but listen, you guys, don't worry about UG. Okay? Because for as long as UG gonna play in the victim field, he's on the level with the special ones. So be a little smarter, UG. That's all he has to do. Just be a little smarter than them. That's all he has to do. That's all he has to do. So don't cry for him tears like that. He doesn't need the tears. He needs a little kick in the ass. That's what he needs from me. I think. I think he's waiting for me to give him kick in the ass. Forge your sword, UG. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say for now publicly. The rest I'll leave it for you in private. Okay. But anyway, you guys, utilize this intent. But this is what I'm saying. Be sharp with your sword. Now you have the sword. Now, for those of you that you know you're a warrior, You know you're a warrior. So intent, generate your intent accordingly. And I know last time when I listened, I kind of talk about it and I said, oh, you guys, just focus on what you want to create. Yes. Don't focus on what you want to deconstruct or what you want, because with this new and access to this as within, so you're not allowing the negative to control you or to choose. You're not allowing negative. What you're doing is through generating the intent. This is your action of transmutation, meaning you're taking that negative energy. And this is like for me, you guys, this is what I'm generating. I'm taking all this experience that I've personally experienced with all of this infection and infiltration of truth movement that is in my own vicinity, in my reality. And what I'm doing is I'm showing you what I see is truly happening. And then I'm taking this energy, and then what I'm be doing with it is how I'm going to be bringing in into the future, meaning I'm taking accountability and responsibility for my reality. And like I said, since they are in my vicinity, they are my accountability. So I'm accountable for this energy that is in my vicinity. So now I'm going to stay the truth about it, right? Then there is nothing can pass through into what I create now, what I generate, right? So now everything that holding up that old world, Lobo, as you say, that old world, whatever's holding up that world now, for me, it's not that. And this is why I love Sun Tzu, because the art of the war is without fighting. The warrior who won goes into the battle because he already won, and the warrior who lost fights before he wins. True warrior wins before he fights. Why? As within, so without, because a true warrior operates with the true living sword, which is a word of God, meaning eternal point. And this is what I talk about. You are generating. The word is you generate reality. You generate it. And so when you see what's truth and untruth, then you can use both of those energy, because you're in duality and you set your intent toward the true revelations. And so this is why I can only talk about what I'm experiencing, because truly I have no idea what each and every one of your reality is. But I know that that reality that you're standing is your reality, and it's your point of eternity, and you're the creator being. And so this is why I never fit in with the new age, and they can't stand me. This is why they can't stand me, those people. They because I tell the truth about the reality. And so what happens is those pillars that hold up that whole thing, because now they're like dissolving. And in the past, Lobo, I referred to this action that I choose to take by stating the truth publicly about my experience. So when I choose to do that, what happens is that I tell you how the spell operates, how the black magician operate over there, how they work, what they do. Then by telling you that, what happens? The pillars that hold the lie up get dissolved by the truth. And I said, does the truth needs to be afraid or worried about what Lily says in her journal? Truth is truth. And you know what? I don't care how elaborate anyone's excuse is. I'm going to tell everyone in Truth Moment that unless no, I'm not done. Unless I have like few more minutes. Unless those people had told you what at the core or at the base of all of that stuff that they talk about. And they'll talk about how all these years they contribute to helping humanity, telling humanity how to ascend, how to do this, how to do that. And they never told you about the child abuse or what's happening with children and how the programming works. And they never talk about in Truth Moment that the Truth Moment is infiltrated. Those are your infiltrators out there. They have extremely intricate and very safe masks on. Those people have never had your best interest in, they never had any humanity. Those do you think that associated with alien agendas? Those that brought you fake whistleblowers like Carrie Cassidy in Project Camelot and Project Avalon. How many people were involved in Project Avalon and Project Camelot? How many whistleblowers did they brought up? Who's going to be accountable for all of those lies, all of that propaganda, all of that cover up? But ultimately, you guys, this is why they can't stand me. There's people like David Icke, because I'm calling him out on his bullshit. They can't stand me. You know why? Because this is what I'm asking them. I'm asking them questions. I said, how come you talk to us about all details, about this or that, but you never dare to tell humanity what you're protecting? And all this time, you guys, the reason why they infiltrated Truth Movement is because they never wanted the truth about the children out. And they're gonna jump right now. They're jumping on the train of those as though they are all, oh, this is what's going on, and we had nothing to do with it. Every one of those people that were out there in Truth Movement were tasked with this. They were tasked with protecting what was happening to children. And they're gonna scream and jump on other ships right now. They're gonna try, like I said, try to save their asses. And they're gonna pretend that for all this time they didn't play good all slave masters that they are. I witnessed it all, like you said, Lobo. We witnessed it all. We stand living witnesses in this reality. I stand as a living witness. And this is how you set your intent, Lobo, for this spring equinox, as a living witness. So if you forge your sword, and this is what I say, the difference is that I take accountability and responsibility. And then I am not afraid to use my sword. And that's my action. And right now, it's speaking the truth. That's my action. Right now, speaking the truth. So, and all they do is take your will away. So put your action is driven by your will. So put your will behind your intent and use your sword if that's what you have. Or if you want to look at it, play the instrument with whatever it is that you have, the instrument. If this is a drums, drum your drums. Drum your experience of truth, your truth. All these people out there that pretend to be truth speakers, all they've been drumming about is how to protect the abuse, how to shut up the abused ones. That's all they do out there. Aren't what we seen going on with UGG, you guys just ask, aren't we witnessing that in the open? Where's Michael, I think in 7 Kavanaugh? When you really need him, huh? All of you rats out there crying without your master. Your master has his diapers full. That's what's going on. All right, you guys, it's been an hour. I have to go. But anyway, so you understand generating whatever it is. There's no positive, no negative. Whatever your experience is, that's your, and if you need a sword, you know, make sure you have a really good one. So forge one before that, before spring equinox. Forge one really quick. All right, you guys. Really, is there any questions? I think it's been an interesting oh, Santo, you talk about George talking about sword of truth. Yeah, that one's gonna become like, clueless in Australia doesn't know how the boomerang effect works. So that sword of truth will come up, the other end of his pretty soon. It's gonna go. Here's boomerang effect for you, Georgie. You'll learn what boomerang effect is. All right, you guys. So here we go. Where is he with his explanation? Oh, nowhere to be found, right? Hiding somewhere, crying in the corner, waiting for women to show up and do his work for him. All right, you guys. Well, love you too, guys. Thank you so much. Stay strong, stay in your joy. So and own your reality. Enjoy it. Love every minute of it. Generate. I love you guys so much. And may the force be with you always, and stay wild out there. Until next time. See you later. Bye, everybody.